We're going to talk about each of the parts quickly. We're going to start with speaker is the S in SOAPSTONE. Who wrote or delivered the text? You're identifying literally who wrote the text, or in the case of speeches, who gave the speech. O in SOAPSTONE is occasion. What was happening? Give us some, like, in this case, historical context, so we know what their goal was. We kind of understand the historical context of what was going on, what pushed them to create this persuasive argument. Then we go down to A. Who was this aimed at? Who heard it? We talked about this yesterday. Who was the declaration really written for? The colonists. Beautiful. It was kind of used to rally them together, to make them all kind of side with the founding fathers and be against Britain. So this was aimed at the colonists. So as you're reading, it's important to keep that in mind. You're seeing what kind of language they use to make the colonists feel like they're part of something bigger. We are at P in SOAPSTONE. Purpose. Does this text seek to persuade, to entertain, or inform? What do we think the goal of the Declaration of Independence was? To persuade, entertain, or inform? Inform. Okay, cool. Why do we say inform? Don't make me do it, you guys. I will call out someone unsuspecting. If you don't agree that it's persuading or informing, tell me which one you think it is. Do you think it's persuading, entertaining, or informing? Lucy, tell me what you think.
I feel like it's informing because they're like saying both the new like rules and stuff are.
Okay. Yes, I like that answer a lot. It's informative. Maybe some of the colonists didn't know exactly like the logistics of what exactly was going on with Britain, so kind of giving them the information they need to make a decision if they're for separating it from England or if they're against it. Could we argue that it's also trying to persuade? Someone tell me yes or no, and why. Don't make me do it again, you guys. I'm gonna. Mary, go ahead.
Well, it was like trying to using like persuasive like terminology, I guess, repetitive things, and trying to like get it in your mind that it's, I guess, happening.
Yes, perfect. Like yesterday, we looked at ethos, pathos, and logos, and some other rhetorical devices. The goal of using these things and other rhetorical devices is to get someone to join your cause or be on your side. So, let's see, what were we on? Purpose. Let's do a subject. What was this about? So not only are we going to talk about like the historical context, but we're going to get into what main points are they bringing into this. And then the last T-O-N-E, tone, is the stone part of SOAPSTONE. What was the author's attitude toward the text? And I do have another little graphic that goes a little bit more in depth. Okay? So, let's do it one more time. Speaker. Identify the speaker of the work. It's crucial to keep in mind that the speaker is not necessarily the author. This is kind of more so when we're going into speeches, but this is relevant information. Sometimes the author uses the character's point of view to narrate the story. Again, in terms of speeches or like if you're giving anecdotes, whatever. Occasion. You're identifying the context of the work and its setting. Where was it given? What was going on? The occasion is analyzing, and that's fine. A, audience. Identity. Who was the targeted audience? We have talked a lot about this. Purpose. Identify the message shared by the author to the audience. It can be analyzed by answering the question, like, what was the purpose of the writing, or was the author's purpose served? Subject. Analyze the underlying meaning of the subject. A writer should understand the message and explain it in a few words. And tone, evaluate the author's choice of words. The use of other literary devices such as imagery and sentence structure states the tone. So how is it being written, and what, especially in regards to word choice, like we talked a lot about we and he and us. So like what kind of tone does that kind of bring to the document? Why should we use this? Genuinely, it's like a method of analysis that breaks down really complex text. Like the Declaration isn't necessarily easy to read. So this breaks it down. So as you read it, you're only looking for one thing at a time because it's a lot of information to take in all at once. So if you're on the first S, the speaker step, that's all you're focusing on as you're reading. You're going to look at who delivered the speech or who wrote the document. And when you read it the second time, you're going to look for the occasion, you know, so it's breaking it down into sizable chunks that are easier to work with. So this method can also help you understand meanings behind works of literature and get you into the minds of the author. In our case, historical figures, so kind of learning a little bit more about them and using what we already know about them, like what we learned in our colonial lit slides, just kind of helps us get into their mind. Why did they write this? What was their goal, etc. And this method provides specific structure for the text. By the time you guys have finished answering all of the questions in the acronym, you'll have an outline for what they think, where you're going, and why they are writing. So you really get the purpose of the text, essentially. So, today, your assignment, you're going to be in groups, which I will give you in 1 second. You're going to go on Classroom. You're going to find this assignment. Look, I even screenshot it for you, so there's no way you can miss it. You're going to find the assignment, SOAPSTONE for the Declaration of Independence. In your groups, you're going to elect one person to make a copy of the doc, and then everyone's going to work on it collectively. Okay? So, you're going to work in groups to thoughtfully complete the SOAPSTONE analysis. Each group member is responsible for equal contributions. You will be graded according to your contribution. So if one person is doing all the work, we can see who did that, so they'll get the grade. So we're going to split it up. So you can delegate each part of the acronym as you see fit. When you're done with the assignment, make sure you're hitting submit on Classroom. I know it happens a lot. You're like totally done with something, but you don't actually press submit, and then it tells us that you're late. Also, did you know that we could see when you copy and paste things into your assignment spaces? Classroom alerts teachers of plagiarism. And we want your thoughts and ideas, not the internet's. Like, you guys are smart. You have great things to say. We want to hear what you have to say. I don't want some, like, PhD level dissertation of why the Declaration of Independence was effective or ineffective. So just keep that in mind while you're doing things. We can see what's going on. And what?
I was just gonna say, maybe before we show the groups, I have because some people aren't here, so I was gonna finagle them with you.
Oh, okay.
So just when you're done.
And lastly, this is due when? Tomorrow. You're working in groups, so let's divide and conquer. Make sure everyone is putting in equal effort for their section of the assignment, and this should not be difficult, and you should not have any homework this weekend. Okay,
Sweet.
are we
Okay, let's freeze this.
refinagling the groups? Okay, so while we are rearranging your groups, just pull out your Chromebooks, open the doc, or go to the assignment space, check it out. This PowerPoint that goes into SOAPSTONE is available to you guys if you need to look over what each thing is.
And maybe take out the documents.
Yes, you probably want the actual document in front of you. So Chromebook, your Declaration of Independence. If it's easier, you have the PDF of the Declaration available to you on Classroom.
So actually, I'm like deleting people that weren't here, but there's like no one that's. Oh, never mind. So you could Chromebooks? Yeah, let me.
Do you want me to go grab them?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
If you don't mind. Yep.